dear kids, you're welcome to class. In today's class, we will be considering exercise 21. And the concept we'll be using in this exercise are addition, subtraction, multiplication, and factors. Alright, let's get started. Now we can see this example before us. We have 8 at the bottom, 5 at the top, and the answer is 15. Alright, let's assume we are looking for this 15 place. Let's assume this 15 was not given. How are we going to get 15? Let's go to our board now. Alright, before we get our 15, before we get that value that is omitted, we have to consider our factors. Remember, one of the concepts we are using is a factor. What are the factors of 15? What are the factors of 15? We have 1 as a factor. We have 5 as a factor, we have 3 as a factor, and we have 15. Now, let's work with this factor 5 and 3, because we are working with 2 of the factors. 2 of the factors. Let's work with 5 and 3. 5 and 3. Now, in order to get our 15, though we don't need this very explanation of factors in the 15 place. To get our 15, we simply subtract 5 from 8. You subtract 5 from 8. That is 8, that is the 8 at the bottom, minus 5. 8 minus 5. And that will give us 3. Then this 3 we've gotten, we'll multiply it by the 5 at the top again. That is 3 times 5. And that will give us 15. So that place we are looking for, the answer is 15. So that's how they got this 15. 8 minus 5. That will give us 3. Then the 3 times 5 will give us 15. And now take note of this. The number at the top contains one of the factors of 15. The number at the top contains one of the factors of 15. So any number that will be at the top is either one of the factor of 15. Alright. Let's take a look at the second example. Now, let's assume we are looking for the 8th place. Let's assume we are looking for this 8th place. This place was not given, for example. Just assume we have 15 and just 5. So how did they get the 8? How did they get the 8? Now remember, from our factor, we have 1. Factors of 15 are 1, 5, 3, and 15. Now we're using 3 and 5 as a factor now. 3 and 5. And I said earlier that the number at the top was contain one of the factor of 15 that we are using. And in this case it contains 5. So therefore now let's answer the question. How can we get 8? How can we get 8? To get 8, we simply multiply 5 and 3. Multiply 5 and 3. Alright, to get 8, we are simply adding the factors of 15. The factor of 15 we are using is 3 and 5. So to get 8, let's arrange this now. To get 8, we are simply adding 3 and 5. 3 and 5. And that will give us 8. In order to get 8, we are adding 3 and 5. So that is how we can get this 8. Alright. Let's consider the other example. Assuming 5 was not given, how can we get the value of 5? How can we get the value of 5? Remember, I said the factors of 5, 15 rather, we are using is 3 and 5. And this 5 at the top must contain, the number we are putting at the top must contain one of the factor of 15 that we have picked. And preferably we use the bigger of the one we have chosen. So therefore, the number at the top is going to be 5. Is going to be 5. How sure are we? Let's confirm. If we remove 5 from 8, we are going to get 3. 3 times 5 will give us 15. So that is a confirmation that 5 is the correct answer. Alright, let's consider our second example. You can see 14 divided by 2, and that gives us 10. 14 divided by 2, and that gives us 10. Now, let's look for this 10 place. Now, how did they get this 10? How did they get this 10? To get 10, what you simply do is 14 divided by 2 is 7. Fourteen divided by 2 is 7. Now, there is an imaginary 3 that is also used in this example. Imaginary number, and that number is 3. So this 7 plus that imaginary number, which is 3, will give us 10. So in this very example, we are working with an imaginary number, and that number is 3. So that is how the 10 was gotten. So it's 14 divided by 2 is 7, plus that imaginary number, which is 3, make it 10. Alright. How can we get 2? For example, we are looking for these 2 places now. How can we get 2? To get 2, we are going to subtract that imaginary number from 10. That is the first step. Subtract that imaginary number, that is 10 minus 3. That will give us 7. That will give us 7. Then, the next step, 14 divided by this 7 will give us 2. So that was how the 2 was gotten. Alright, how can we get 14? How can we get 14? Just assume this 14 was not given. Assume we are looking for this 14. How can we get 14? To get 14, what we simply do, let's remove our 3 from the 10. That's our imaginary number from the 10. That is 10 minus 3. That will give us 7. Then the next step, 7 times 2. 7 times 2 will give us 14. So that was how the 14 was gotten. Alright, let's consider our next example. Now, from this example, how can we get 45? Let's assume this 45 was not given. How can we get 45? To get 45, we simply divide. 36 divided by 4. To get 45, we are doing 36 divided by 4. Alright, rather, to get our 45, we are doing 36 plus 9. 36 plus 9. And that will give us our 45. 36 plus 9 will give us 45. Alright, how can we get 32? And can we get 32? To get 32, we are doing subtraction. What subtraction is that? To get 32 is going to be 36 minus 4. 36 minus 4 will give us 32. Alright, how can we get our 36? How did they get this 36? To get 36, we are simply multiplying 9 and 4. 9 and 4. To get 36, we are going to, it's going to be 9 times 4. That will give us 36. 36. Next is, how can we get 4? How can we get 4? To get 4 is going to be 36 divided by 9. 36 divided by 9. That will give us 4. 36 divided by 9 will give us 4. In the same way, to get our 9 is going to be 36 divided by 9. Divided by 4 rather. 36 divided 36 divided by 4 will give us 9. So, that is how we can get our 9. Let's just recap. To get our 45, we simply added 36 and 9. To get our 32, we simply subtracted 4 from 36. To get our 36, we simply multiply 9 and 4. And to get our 4, we simply did 36 divided by 9. And to get are 9. We simply did 36 divided by 4. Hello kids, hope you enjoyed the class. See you again in our next class. Bye for now.